So, welcome. I wanted to put this on the screen when I first started, but I couldn't go live if I had that on. This is what we are here. Welcome to the birthday celebration today for both my book and this is on. Now I'm sharing my screen. I had put out a little blip on my Facebook page this morning asking people to pray for me because I said I got the feels. And that's what happens when you have the feels. You're like so much emotion that you make all kinds of little mistakes. So I already made a couple of mistakes and it's only 1 minute into this live presentation, but I know you'll forgive me because I know you've been in pain before and you've been through difficult things and you know you want grace when you're going through that. So I wanted to share my screen to share what we are doing today. Welcome to the birthday celebration of Wings and Denise, as I already said, but now I have the photo up for those to see who are live on video. And I have a surprise guest that I wasn't able to share earlier, Kathy Burris. We are going to have 4 ladies join me today, one at a time, sharing their story of how they took their pain and turned it into purpose. Because that's what I am doing here today. Because today is a painful day for me because today is the birthday of my friend Denise, a very, very dear friend of mine. But it's also the birthday of my book. And so I wanted to show you this, the picture of my first book. This is the cover of the first one. And this is the one that's available now. They look pretty similar, but they have a lot of differences. And so I want to do a little bit of excitement for that because it's hard to be happy and sad at the same time. And so I am processing my pain today by doing this presentation because both my book and my friend are worthy of celebration. Denise Corin is a dear friend of mine. I met her many years ago. And as I said, I'm processing that pain today. My book, Emerging with Wings, was how I processed the pain of my childhood traumas and made purpose out of it for people to be able to heal and grow in their lives also. And it's interesting, as I was thinking about it, Denise and I met and really connected through a pain point. She lost her son, Jacob, and I reached out to her and told her I was praying for her. And I wasn't just saying that, I really was going to be praying for her. And that really touched her deeply because a lot of people say, I'll pray for you, I'll pray for you, I'll pray for you. And they mean it about as much as when they say, hi, how are you? And they don't want you to answer, how are you? So I wanted her to know I really was, feeling her pain with her. And that was the beginning of our connection. I thought that was really important to bring that up because pain is a deeper rut where we connect with people because we're vulnerable. I mean, I'm sitting here and I am just feeling all the cells in my body just like vibrating because of just the feels that I have today. And the ladies I'm going to be bringing on, they all have their own thing and they did their own process to harness that pain and make it useful for someone else. And something I also wanted to bring up and wanted to honor today, besides Denise, is her mom, Myrna. At the funeral, I remember I hugged Myrna and I said to her, you shouldn't have to be doing this, burying her daughter. And 2 of the ladies that we'll be sharing with you in a little bit, both of them had to do that too. And as one of them said to me the other day, that's a club that no one wants to belong to. But everyone has pain in life. I shared that on my podcast today about that. So we all can learn to harness our pain and turn it into purpose. We can make use out of it. We don't need to just sit under it. We need to sit in it for a while because we need to feel it because numbing it, it won't go away. It will just go underground, which brings me to something else I wanted to share on my screen here is a quote that is from my book, Emerging with Wings. And I will read it for those who will hear this on the podcast later and you can't see my screen. This quote is part of how I got into sharing my book and became an author again and a coach and into business with this, because these words resonated with people so much. And this quote has gone viral. And this quote is, "Trauma is personal. It does not disappear if it is not validated. When it is ignored or invalidated, the silent screams continue, internally heard only by the one held captive. When someone enters the pain and hears the screams, healing can begin." And that has resonated with so many people. I wanted to share something with you here about that. Also, I did a search the other day for those who can see my screen. I did a search to see where this was found, because I had found it in yet another place. This quote has been quoted in different languages, in Polish, in Turkish, in the most recent one was this one here in Hebrew. I wasn't even sure what it said, but in Hebrew, that same quote of trauma is personal, because it is. I invalidated and I dismissed my trauma for years and years and years, because I said it wasn't as bad as that. It wasn't, I didn't lose everything in a tsunami. I hadn't been in a plane crash, and I compared myself to all these, catastrophic things and just dismissed what I had been through. But I am not alone with this. Trauma is personal. I have 12 pages here of links and of memes that people have made of this quote and a couple of other quotes from the same book, Emerging with Wings, because it resonates. It's in programs, it's in brochures, it's in books, it's in medical write-ups, it's all over the place. And until I get to the end of this, I'm like, it became kind of tedious after a while. Then I just started taking screenshots of the things that I found, because it was just so profound of how much that resonates with people, because trauma is personal. And the loss of Denise is traumatic. It's traumatic for a lot of people. And trauma isn't the incident. That's something that I say all the time, because people do. They look at the thing that happened as if that thing was the trauma outside of yourself. No, trauma is what happens inside of you. It's what happens in the brain chemically. It alters our brain. And there was a time when they said that we were stuck that way and we couldn't heal. But now they've learned otherwise. We can rewire our brain. We can heal from it. And that's part of what I am out here on the internet. Danielle Burnock from danielleburnock.com. Love yourself from Survive to Thrive. That lady on the internet who loves you, as I say so many times, every time, though I forgot at the beginning, because as I said, I have the feels today, because there's a certain amount of trauma that has taken place, but I am processing it, and then I will be fine. And everyone has to do their own way of healing also. And as I said at the beginning, the loss of a child is a club that no one wants to join. And my first guest is Michelle Widenbetter. Sorry, Michelle, didn't mean to massacre your name. And she has taken her pain and turned it into purpose. She deals with moms that not necessarily have lost their children, but live in fear of losing them. And some have tragically lost them. So I want to bring Michelle on here and let her share her story with you. And she has some things to give you for free also. Oh, I forgot before I bring her in here. I told you I'm stumbling all over myself, but one of the things I tell you over and over again is I do these live. You know, this is me. There is no editing out all of this. This is just me going through this. Come with me to healing. And so share this live. Please, I want to ask you to share this live video, share it to your timeline, share, and then comment in the comments that you shared it. Here, because we have things to give away. I have things to give away, and your comments are going to be how I am going to be able to give these things to you and identify this. I have people monitoring the comments for me because I can't watch them myself. And so share this live video to your timeline, share it anywhere else you want to, share, and then comment, I shared it, okay? It's bringing in Michelle now. Here we go. Come on, technology work. There we go. Hello, Michelle. I love your glasses. Those are awesome.
To say that. Okay, yeah, this is like the new me. I'm just trying to come out and be bold a little and fun because like you know, we are in I work with moms of addicted loved ones. And it's really sad sometimes, most of the time, unless, you know, somebody recovers and then we have a party about that. But so yeah, I'm just trying to make it a little fun. So thanks for noticing. And I love your crown.
Happy birthday. And my little noisemaker. And I messed up so bad at the beginning, but I'm giving myself grace all day today because
yeah, no, I've been watching. You had me, I was emotional for a few times. Like, I wish I could have known your friend and, oh, wouldn't she just love what you're doing today? That is just, I just think it's such a great idea. So let me just share those with some of the people watching that you just never know where God is going to call you, right? So yeah. I was writing all these fun books. Like I was just having a blast, like writing books and publishing them. And then addiction hit our family, our son and daughter-in-law. And it was so devastating. And I just was numb. I just quit everything. Like I didn't know what to do. Wow. And once I started learning and educating myself on addiction, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to share this with other moms because I bet they don't know this, you know? And so yeah. It just started like that. And now, you know, we have over 1,600 moms in our group at Moms Letting Go, and they come in there to heal. And just like you say, you know, like trauma is personal, but yet when they come in that group, it's like, oh my gosh, you all get me. You understand where I'm coming from, right? And so we just commiserate, but we also pray and we encourage. And, but in the beginning, it was like, who wants to talk about their addicted children, right? Like, I was like, God, are you really sure you want me to do this? And so,
oh, I understand. I felt like, do I need to do this? How do I celebrate my book while my friend is not here? Those conflicting emotions, I think, are the most difficult ones.
Yeah. And just like my glasses, it's kind of like this bold statement to come out and talk about it. Thankfully for me now, our son and daughter-in-law are over 2 years into recovery. But when I started this, you know, I wasn't, but, or they weren't. So I was still trying to heal. But I wonder if I could share something with the people here. I'm going to try to make it quick because I know Danielle has a lot of good stuff, good speakers and things.
And you have a freebie that's going to be in the comments too. I want to bring everyone's attention to that. My friend Mary is manning the comments right now, and she's putting a link to, what is it you gave us? You're giving the people for free?
Anybody can go to momslettinggo.com who has a child with an addiction, and they will be able to download the book Moms Letting Go Without Giving Up: 7 Steps to Self-Recovery, because moms have to take charge of their own recovery because of the trauma of having, it's like our children are alive, but they're invisible. The enemy has kind of confiscated them, and we just can't it's really hard to cope. So anyway, that book, that ebook, but also I'd love to give somebody a paperback copy of that if they want to share like their address. But then I thought, you know what, I have a few other books too. And Fractured Not Broken is a memoir. It's a true story. So if somebody doesn't have an addicted loved one and would like to read a memoir that's option for a movie, leave your address or get in touch with Danielle and I'll mail you the book.
Well, why don't they say, if you're interested in the book, say, I want Michelle's book in the comments, and then I will private message you to get your address. Okay. If you want Michelle's book, say, I want Michelle's book in the comments.
So, yeah, and I've written, if you'd like,
a disclaimer too, for you to mail it to them, it needs to be in the United States, right?
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, because otherwise it costs like $50. But
most other countries, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, Canada is the same way. But also, I've written a thriller. So if you prefer a thriller or the memoir, I have a young adult novel. So maybe you just share what your favorite genre is too. But yeah, but hey, I'm going to share something here pretty quick. It is 5 ways a woman can turn her pain into purpose and find her sweet spot. Okay. So maybe you're somebody who you're like, well, what is my pain? What is my purpose and what is my sweet spot? And I get it because we don't always know. Well, S stands for support someone or a cause that you feel passionate about. You understand your pain better than anyone. Other women want to know that they're not alone, right? So just start supporting somebody in pain, and you'll kind of, God will open doors and you'll kind of find your sweet spot. That's the S, support. W is welcome. Welcome people into your life who inspire you. Invite them to lunch. Ask them to share stories of how they turn their pain into purpose. Because when you listen to them, it's going to cause you to have all these thoughts like, oh, I could do this or I could do that. And then E is examine what your friends and family say you're good at and embrace those gifts so that you can bring value to other people. And don't say, oh, my family always says I'm so good at this, but I'm really not. I doubt it, because so often we are who we are, and yet we go searching for somebody who we aren't. And you already have everything you need to be in your sweet spot. So that was the first E. The second E is educate. Educate yourself by reading books on women in history who had a vision and executed a plan or a movement, who used their pain for purpose. And you will be inspired, and it'll just start helping you know where you should go. And then the last in sweet is T for team. Find your power team. Okay, Danielle, she's on my power team. We try to talk every week to hold each other accountable, to boost each other up, to just give each other encouragement. And sometimes we feel like crying together, yes, but that's why I wear my glasses and she's wearing a crown, right? So, but ask this team, ask your friends, your power team, how can we collaborate? Let's build value together for other people. And as you form that idea or that organization, come up with monthly or quarterly mastermind ideas to how you can collaborate to then build your purposes together, right? So anyway, that is your sweet spot. That's how you find it. And I hope it was within the 5 minutes.
Oh, that's good. That's fine. We're doing a lot of grace today.
Oh, good.
Today's full of grace.
Yay.
Because we have to do that, because I'm repeating myself. I have some notes here, but I already, forgot the first thing at the top.
Well, we can.
So that's what it is, and that's okay. So we're full of grace. So thank you for sharing, Michelle. And
my pleasure.
Her website is momslettinggo. So if you want to connect with her and check the comments right in there. If you want Michelle's book, then click on the link that Mary has put in there and comment there, I want Michelle's book, if you want one of her books. And
Lucretia, I have to tell you that one of my care team members in our membership is actually watching this right now. I saw her in the comment section. Hi, Lucretia.
Wonderful. Well,
So
thank you for being here, Michelle.
my pleasure.
I'll see you again in a little bit.
Okay.
So that was my first guest, and I know that she brought some great value for you. And I'm going to pause here before I bring up Mary. Mary is our next guest. I want to share some with you of what I am going to be giving to you today. I have to find it here. I'm sharing my screen before I got there. Here is, for those of you watching, this is my new course to help people to heal from their childhood trauma. I wanted to start this whole thing with a word, which I told Michelle I forgot, a word called upcycle. And I got this word from my daughter-in-law that she felt like the Lord gave her this about, and then explained to me what it means. And to upcycle something means to take something that isn't really useful anymore, and you don't recycle it, you upcycle it into something that's actually better than the original thing. And so I don't know if I explained it exactly as well as my daughter-in-law Sarah did, but that was my try to do that. In my course here, Heal Your Childhood Self, is an upcycle of my book, Emerging with Wings. When I first released it, I had a number of people ask me for a workbook, and I tried to do a workbook, but Emerging with Wings is my story, and I take you with me, and it's full of awesome value because I have gotten the feedback to prove it. But if I did a workbook, then you would be going through my life, and that's not helpful for you to help you go through what you need to heal in your life. And so this course is what I have created to lead you through your life to your healing. And I have it as a 12-week course, which that's a long commitment, and that can be difficult for people to do. And I just released this new version of it called the Fast Track, which it's not dripped, or what's the word for it? I don't make you wait to do it over a 12-week period. You can do it as fast or slow as you want. So this course, I am giving away this course to some people today. I have, what it is good for is you have suffered long enough, and it's time to get rid of the shame and emotional pain. This independent study course was set up to release over a 12-week period, but in this independent fast track, you can go as fast as you want. And this course will empower you to speak your truth without fear. It will empower you to stop self-shaming. It will empower you to overcome anger issues. It will empower you to improve all your relationships. And it also will help you to have fun without feeling guilty, learn how to trust yourself, sleep better, and feel safe. And too many people dismiss their trauma. And I just want to pause here, and those who are watching, to take a good look at this. I share this meme over and over again, and I say it all the time because I can't say it too many times. Children are not to blame for their trauma. And so this course, it is for $547. And it is worth every penny, but I am giving it away to some people who want that. If you want that course, I want you to put in the comments, I want that course. And my friends who are manning the comments for me will let me know. I will reach out to you through private messenger, because I will need your email address to manually enter you in so that you don't have to pay for it. I am giving it away to 7 people today. So over the course of this next 45 minutes, I will be giving that away. Comment in there, I want the course. And now I'm going to bring in my next guest for you to meet, my friend Mary, Dr. Mary Welsh. She is someone who has been through the trauma of losing a child, and she's going to share with you how she has harnessed that pain and turned it into purpose for her. So Mary, are you here? I see her name. And Mary heads up a organization called Susie Q Kids, and she makes comfort bags for shelters and hospitals and all kinds of things. So I'm not sure what happened, Mary. She's been manning my comments. Maybe she got distracted by that. So Mary, let me know when you're ready, okay? me see here. Hey there, Mary. There you are. I had a line through the video. I thought maybe I had your video disallowed, but it wasn't that, was it? I don't know. Technology.
Got me?
Yep, gotcha. Thank you for coming. Thank you for what you're doing to help me today. Thank you for your positivity that you have, that you give. And as Mary comes on here, I thank you, Kathy, that you're in the
Hearing
comments.
an echo. Can you hear an echo?
No, I'm not hearing an echo. Echo, 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 echo. I'm not hearing it. Do you hear it now?
Okay.
All better?
Okay, let's go ahead and try.
Okay. Well, why don't you share your story? I told them a little bit that you have Susie Q kids and how you make comfort bags, and tell them what the pain is that you have turned into purpose and how you did that. And Kathy will share your freebie. She's got a freebie for you for, what is 6 positivity things or something? What was that again? Mary?
Hang on one second. There you go. I turned off Facebook because I was getting reverberation.
Ah, gotcha. That's what
Okay,
it was.
so
You were hearing Facebook at the same time.
I was hearing both, yeah. So thanks for
Understand that.
having me today.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, and Michelle did a nice job. So I want to connect with Michelle. So I was hearing reverberation. So
That's fine.
did you you gave my bio in?
A little bit, yeah, that you have Susie Q kids and you do comfort bags for shelters and hospitals and stuff like that, and that you are in the club of losing a child that no one wants to be in. And why don't you share just a little bit of your story and how you harness that pain and turn it into purpose?
Okay, so my journey started, it'll be 4 years in 2 weeks. That's hard to believe, but Susie's birthday's coming up pretty soon, but she was 31 when she passed, and she left a big hole in our lives as we needed to figure out how to move on. And so on the journey from losing her, we took positivity. We looked at it with a positive slant. Susie was always a very happy-go-lucky kid when she was with us, and she would hate it to know that we were all sitting around crying and not carrying on the purpose that she had in life. And she always gave back. And so it was very easy for us to create the nonprofit. We create comfort bags. So we give bags to kids that are, like you said, in hospitals or shelters or foster care, and those that are grieving. And to know that there's a kid holding a teddy bear somewhere gives me comfort. So that's our purpose. And so really it's about taking that positivity, that cup half full per se, instead of half empty. And so I will have a link for a giveaway that'll talk about these 4 steps, but they're the 4
Kathy will
steps
be
of
putting it in the
positive.
comments for you.
Okay. The 4 steps of positive reflection. And it's really about, we have to remember our loved ones. You're going to remember Denise forever and ever and ever. She's going to be with you every day. Say her name, say it loud, say it proud. You've heard me say it. I've heard you repeat it. And even when we talked this morning, you said the same thing. It just makes the person is with you in your heart and is in present with you, and you're allowed to share. And then take the second step is really about taking a look at life, what impact they had on you. So what impact did Denise have on you, and how did you guys, what impact did you have on her? And you said you wish she was with you today. Well, she is with you. She was with you at all the other milestones before, and she'll be with you at all the milestones going forward, because we really we weave that story forward. Our loved ones are always there. Um, and so it's really kind of like changing that dialect, that thought pattern that we have, and overcoming the childhood traumas. And you have, it's really about changing that perspective. It's really about flipping the coin and saying, I'm not the victim. I'm going to persevere. I've learned from it. I've grown from it, and I'm going to help somebody else because of it. And
Right.
so in loss, it's the same. It's the same, whether it's you lost an animal, you lost a loved one, you lost a job, whatever. It's the
Yeah.
same. You
Loss
go
is
through
loss.
kind of the
Trauma is
same
personal.
steps. Right, right. And so the third part is really to recreate that new normal. And so for you, it could be the what ifs. They could just like knock you down, right? And
Mhm.
so I say, what if, but I did. I changed the perspective. And
Mhm.
so for you, what if I had told Denise this one more thing? Well, Denise already knew it. She, in your comments and your discussions, she's already been there and she's with you now. And so she's hearing you anyway. So don't beat yourself up. Try to flip that coin a little bit.
Yeah, because you can't go back. Regret will not serve you. You have to find a way to rewrite that.
Right, right. So it's just changing that perspective slightly for a positive angle instead of hanging on to the negative.
Right.
And then the fourth step is really about just kind of three-pronged self-care,
Yeah.
helping other people, and giving back in the community. So you embody that, Danielle, in everything you do. And so you're always looking good. You always present yourself well. You're always taking steps to help you and your family, and then helping others in our community, with the sharing your story. And it's gone, like you said, global. It's around the world.
Yeah.
And and then just giving back in the community. So and I know you do that as well. So yeah. So my daughter Susie is with me. I lost my mom, she's with me. But you have to look on the positive side, that we had them for the time that we did, right?
Right. Hold on
So
to what's
that's,
good.
yeah,
Hold on to the good stuff. Yeah, definitely.
yeah, so that's our purpose. Make sure that you live a good life, share that life.
Amen. Well, thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
being on here with me, Mary, today. And thank you for sharing that. And remember to look in the comments for what the positivity thing that Mary has to give. And if you want that course that I am offering, then post "I want the course" in the comments. So I share a couple more things. And then my next guest will be Kathy. Thank you, Mary.
All righty. Bye, everyone.
Oh, that was awesome. I just love having these people on here because you get so many different perspectives. It's not just me. I have how I process things. You have how you process things. We are all different. And so the more that we can connect with a variety of people, it can really help us to process that pain. And I wanted to bring up something to say about Denise. That was so cool. I'm going to share my screen here. I should get that picture. No, I can't do that because then then I can't share the screen because I won't see it to share the pictures. I wanted to share this picture of Denise. That was the last time that Denise and I had time together. And I wanted to talk just a little bit to honor her. One of the things that I write about and I talk about and I help people to tap into is something I call your God-given greatness. And I say that we all have greatness inside of us. God put it there. And sometimes we dismiss what we think that is because we think it has to be something ginormous, like climbing Mount Everest, or something that we have in our head that we dismiss ourselves, we devalue ourselves. But there was God-given greatness in Denise, and I partook of it. And one thing I want to bring up and celebrate about Denise, that it was probably the most said thing at her funeral were Denise's hugs. No one hugged like Denise. And you might not think of a hug as greatness, but when you need a hug and you got a hug from Denise, you are being hugged by greatness. So I wanted to say that she also was a fantastic cook. I don't like cooking. She loved cooking. She graduated with a degree in cooking. And I had the privilege of being there at her graduation. And I just wanted to point this out about, our God-given greatness. There's greatness in you. And, sometimes we find that through our pain. I mean, one of the God-given greatnesses I'm seeing in Michelle is what she's doing to help people, these other ladies, and Mary, how she's touching so many people, from children to adults, men and women, all over the place. And there's God-given greatness in you and in me, in all of us. And I just encourage you to tap into that and to not waste time with that, because we think we have forever, but we don't. Denise was younger than me when she passed. It was sudden, it was traumatic. And I just implore you, don't wait. Don't wait to look for the good in you. Don't wait to heal from the things in your past. I have this course, as I said, that I'm offering to you for free to heal your childhood self. But I want the course in the comments. I'm going to be giving 7 of those away at the end of this. And so don't wait. Even if you think you need it, and if you want, I have an assessment. If you're thinking, I don't know if I need that, I have an assessment. Ask for that in the comments. Say, I want to take that assessment then. And I will make sure that you get that, because I love you. I'm that lady on the internet who loves you. I will not stop saying that. That is one of my new purposes. I have gathered this over the last year and a half, and we need love. Especially with how the world has just gone so crazy with pandemic out there. We need love. We are all going through a hard time just by what's going on in the world. And we have all our own personal things, like Michelle shared, and like Mary shared, and like my friend Kathy is going to share. I'm going to bring her in here. She's also one of those people who's a member of that club that no one wants to be a member of. She lost her daughter at a different age, under different circumstances. And I'm going to bring Kathy in here and let her tell you her story and how she took hold of her pain and turned it into purpose. And here comes Kathy. Oh, what a pretty picture you have there. Oh, hi, Kathy. You look awesome.
Thanks. Thanks. I've so appreciated this, Danielle. Thank you for doing it on a day that's so filled with all the feels.
Yeah, all the feels. Yeah, I'm tripping all over myself today, but you know what? It's okay, because that's real.
That's real. That's okay. Good.
And Kathy, she is a coach and all kinds of other things. And so Kathy, tell a little bit of your story and why this year is a special year for you. Today is a special day for me, but this year is a special year for you. And why is that?
Yeah. Well, I am a wife. I'm a mom. I'm a grandma as of 2.5 months ago for the first time. So
congratulations.
yeah, I get to go see him, my little Thad, this weekend. So I'm excited. I am a coach. I'm a coach for women who are stuck. And I call myself an unstuck coach, but I get all these stuck places that I'm aware of myself that I have to get unstuck from. That's why I'm an unstuck coach. And I'm a grief coach because I know grief.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm an author because I had to be, not because I wanted to be. That was not anything I wanted to do. It wasn't on my bucket list. But August 16th of 2006, our youngest daughter died in a car pedestrian accident. And she was 15. A girlfriend called her and said, let's meet. And she had been walking on the country road. So they were meeting on the country road. Leisha was almost 15 and a half, and you have to be 15 and a half to get your permit. But her friend was 16 and had her license. And so this was going to be their first girlfriend outing, just the two of them.
Wow, yeah.
She was all excited. So the friend came up from the intersection opposite of where Leisha was walking. And the friend thought Leisha wouldn't recognize her vehicle. So Abby beeped the horn, and Leisha just looked up and squealed with delight and ran into the path of a car and was killed instantly. So in seconds, life changed.
Yeah.
And what made that, that in and of itself has its own significance. But the morning after she died we were looking through her things, and there were so many things because she was one of so many words. And she would say, if you're looking through my things, I'm going to kill you. And if you're looking through them and I don't kill you, it's because I'm already dead. And she would say that, and we would go, what? How did you know?
Wow.
But in the back
Wow.
of her journal, the words started being upside down. So we flipped it over, opened it up, and there was a title page. It said Lovely Traces by Alicia D. Burris. The next page said Chapter 1, Once Upon a Time. And that was Once Upon a Time I Was Born. Alicia Danae Burris, April 28th, 1991. And then she said, wait. I should start at the beginning. Once upon a time, this boy met this girl, and they fell in love. And she writes one very short chapter actually about my story that led up to birth. And I knew that morning very clearly that that was going to be my book to write.
Wow. So you were inspired to become an author because your daughter she'd like paved the way for you.
She started it. I had to finish it. I had to finish that legacy. So
that's amazing. So what's the name of that book?
Well, that book is Lovely Traces of Hope.
Okay.
I took her Lovely Traces, and the of hope came from a quote that she gave, her own quote. She came in one day saying, Mom, my favorite color means my favorite word. And I said, what's that? Because she had just painted her room, this room, what you see behind me, hot pink, hot yellow, hot orange. And I thought, which one's of those is her favorite? And she said, no, green. Green means hope. And so literally for the last, and what's significant about this year is if you heard me say her birth date, last week would have been her 30th birthday. And in August is the date I've been celebrating for almost 15 years, the date when she will have lived as long as she's been gone.
Yeah.
And that has been a date I've celebrated. I want to celebrate, but I dread at the same time. So I coined that word, celebread. And I have been paying really close attention to how I respond. Shortly after Alicia died, a friend gave me a book by Jerry Sitzer, and it's called, now listen to the title, A Grace Disguised. And the story, Jerry writes this book because his wife, his mother, and his 4-year-old daughter were all killed in a tragic car accident.
Oh, wow.
And that accident, plus his son was in critical condition. And he wrote a book about grace being disguised in the middle of all of that.
Wow.
And one of the comments that he makes is, it's not our losses that define us. We all experience loss. It's not the loss that defines us. It's how we respond to that.
Yeah.
And so
it's taking the pain and putting it into purpose. Like what we're talking about today. And then you had I don't remember what it is. You have a freebie that you are having, Mary's putting in the comments for you. What is that about that you're giving the people?
Well, it actually is, it's a chapter from the book, because from her birthday to the anniversary is 110 days. And that very first birthday, we claimed that the 110 days to be 110 days of green. And so every day we looked for something green. We encouraged people in our life.
That's grief work. That's awesome grief work. Yeah, that's something I have in my course it's a part of my course is grief work, that those very specific things you can do to take that grief from inside of you and bring it out. So looking for things that were green, that's awesome.
So we're doing that again this year.
Wonderful. Like the back of your wall there is green. It's beautiful. And you have green in your blouse too.
Green. My teacup today is green. Yeah. And
I
so
have green on my butterfly back here.
Yeah, there it is.
I have a green bear here.
Oh, I love it. See, we have a lot of green things. Yeah, green's a good color, and spring is a good time for green, right?
Yeah.
So the freebie that I'm offering is a chapter called 110 Days of Green. And the book really is, it's not just Alicia's story. It's not just my story. It's really a story of how God shows up in the middle of all of the darkness, of all the grief, and brings hope. And
wow.
it's just one chapter, but
Oh, that's perfect, though. It's perfect. It's a grief work. It's to help someone take their pain and turn it into purpose, which is what we're doing here today. And just this little thing we get to share. We have all these different pieces. It's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing
You're
that with
welcome.
everybody.
Thank you for doing this. Thank you for doing it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm going to have one more guest I get to bring in here, Sylvia. So thank you, Kathy, for being here. And Mary is putting your link down there. And I will talk to you again soon.
Okay.
Okay, so one thing I had forgotten to bring up a little bit, I got to touch on it a little bit there because Kathy brought it up, which is awesome, was grief work. The grief work is a real important part of dealing with our pain. And writing my book, Emerging with Wings, was turned into grief work. And when my mother-in-law was suffering from Alzheimer's, I wrote a story called A Bird Named Pain, which was, again, grief work. And so grief work is something that's very personal to you. When it's your grief, it needs to be personal to you. So that's just a real important thing. And I have you want this course that I brought up that I have that's based on my book to help you process your pain and do that grief work, which is a big part of the book. I just shook the whole table here. Oh, I'm giving myself grace. I have one more friend I get to bring on here, my friend Sylvia. Sylvia is someone who she's got her own story that she has been through. She thankfully is not a part of that club that no one wants to be a part of, but she is a part of the club where she almost was, and she almost lost both her kids and herself in a house fire. And she also has the trauma from her childhood that she had learned to process. And so I was really excited to have Sylvia here share how she has taken her pain and she turns that into purpose. Thank you, Sylvia, for being here.
Thank you for having me. I hope you can hear me.
Oh, you're kind of far away, sounds like.
Oh, darn it. Okay, let me see if it's alert.
Oh, this is better.
Better?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, much better. I love your hair.
Oh, thank you. It's my summer style. Stay out of my way. But you wanted me to talk about how I took my pain to help me with my purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And, I would say I've always had this inner strength in me that, you know, I had to go things alone. And I have always known in myself that, you know, when things don't work out, you just got to keep going. So this was in 2013 when the fire happened. And I would say in 8 minutes, you know, our house just
that's just crazy. 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Everything in your life is gone.
Yeah, it was.
Thankfully, you have your kids, though.
Yeah, thankfully we
After
did.
those other two stories, right?
Right. We got out of the house, but standing there with your kids as a single parent and watching like everything go away, it's nothing like seeing that look in their eyes when they're like, okay, what is next? You know, what can you do? And we only had 68 cents in our bank account because I was unemployed. The government was shutting down, you know, week after week after week. It was in the middle of winter, so trying to get help, you know, a lot of people say, well, why didn't you go to Red Cross? Why didn't you, you know, go to these agencies? And those agencies were overrun with, you know, the unemployment, with it being wintertime, it was just so much going on at one time. This could not happen at the worst time in not only my life, but just in everybody else's life. So we literally were semi-homeless for almost a year. And you kind of, after a while, you kind of lose hope, you know, because even my son, because he's like, you are a good person. And this is coming from a 15-year-old. He's like, you are a good person. You help everybody. Why is bad things happening to you? And you really have to, like, as a parent, and just in this day and time, you have to really choose your words carefully, because you could say something to not only give up on yourself, but actually infuse that seed into your child.
Yeah.
So you really have to be careful about, yeah, I know things are bad, I know things are going wrong, but you have to, take it one word at a time and say, we can have hope the size of a mustard seed, and we still gonna get through. And that's what I really had to have, no matter we were squatting in a house, and a lot of people didn't even know we were squatting. So it was kind of bad, because we lived in this house that had no heat, no kind of electricity. And then I had like friends who helped me out in terms of trying to get the house back up and running. And I would say Dollar Tree and Family Dollar helped us. We went into the hardware section with the money that people had donated to us, of those stores, because we couldn't afford, the Home Depot prices. We were at the Dollar Tree prices, and like, I'm gonna tell you, you can fix a lot of stuff with
You are
anything
very
in
resourceful.
Dollar Tree. Yeah, very resourceful. We were fixing holes with toothpaste. We were stringing up boards on the windows that were broken, and then covering those up with the Dollar Tree curtains. I mean, walking into that house, you would never think we were squatting. It looked like a normal house. We found good furniture on the side of the road. My daughter, the youngest one, because we couldn't afford a bed, I was gonna have her go live with my father until we could. And she looked at me, and it's like she knew if I send her away now, I probably wouldn't be able to afford to, like, have her back. And she really didn't want to leave or be away from us as a family. And she went out on the curb and she picked out this big junk pile, 4 crates. She found a board. She found a board in the basement, dragged it up, and she used like the unused clothes that we couldn't fit, that people had donated, and made herself a mattress. And she's like, "Mommy, I got a bed now."
Wow, that's amazing. So you guys took your pain and you turned it into resourcefulness to
Just, you
pick
had to.
yourselves up.
You had
Yeah,
to, because there was nothing else out there. And like, a lot of people come to the point where you feel like, okay, the world is literally sitting on me and I can't breathe. I can't do anything. But you just got to do what you can with what you have. And
right,
that's what literally we did. We
right.
took all of that and said, you know what, as long as we're together, we can figure things out. And that's what
Amen.
my kids actually taught me. They taught
Wow.
me that as long as we're a family, we can figure things out. Because as a single parent, they don't even give you the respect of saying you are a family. They call you a single parent unit or a single parent household.
Wow.
They give the word family to the mafia. That's how strong that word is. That word means that you respect the head of the household. You do whatever you can to help the household. You ride or die for that household.
So
But they
you
don't
guys
even,
rewrote your story is what you did. You
we
rewrote your
rewrote,
story
and
because
we
they called
claim that
you a
word.
single parent thing, and no, we're a family.
We're
You
a
harnessed
family.
that and rewrote your narrative for your life.
We
Is that
had you.
were you writing then? Were you writing your
I was,
books
yeah.
then?
Well, I was writing on my cell phone. I was writing on my Kindle. Those are the only things that I had. I was still writing my books. Still trying to get like that little bit of income to just pay the bills, that I had. I took like a job I hated just so I could get money in.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would say just being that family, taking what had happened to us and becoming that family where we work together. And even when one person, lost hope, another person would come and say, "We can do this." it just really took us to another level, as we grew into what was to become of our unit. And I would say it was almost a year to the day of the fire that we got a home from Habitat from Humanity. I was able to use actually my book sales to funnel into getting the house, a brand new house that, we are blessed to this day to have now. And just walking into that house and being able to get a key and being safe and secure means so much, even as a single
Yeah.
parent, to say that our family unit
your family
is safe. And that's saying like a lot,
yeah.
When you're able to finally sleep at night, when you're able to know that your kids are not going to be hurt by not only the city but the elements.
Right.
You don't have to worry about rainfalls in your bedroom or
Right.
squirrels coming up on your bed while you sleep. That's how bad, like, people, like the little things that people go through when you're homeless. When you have a house, I think everybody should kiss the back of their door right now and just go hug their toilet, because you just don't know.
You don't hug
Not
your
in a
toilet
bad
way.
Be sober when you do it.
I remember you sharing with me before how you have turned your pain into stories. You turned them into stories, and you did that literally with your family by your internal narratives that you did with each other. But also then you write your books, and that turned into money for your house and everything. And you have something to share with the people today with about writing, isn't it? Your freebie you have to share?
Oh yes, I have, because I just kept following the same mantra every day, even before the fire, to keep our family strong. And it was just plan, pray, and parent. And every day, literally every day, I do have to wake up and follow these steps of planning for everything to go wrong, praying in expectancy, and just parenting not only my children, but parenting my household, and more importantly, myself.
Right.
Because I think we get that 16-year-old brain stuck into us that I'm grown. And even when we have things to do, we'll say, well, I'm grown, and we don't get stuff done. So that business plan you have to write, that book you have to write, that thing you want to become successfully happy, you say, well, I'm grown, I really don't have to do it. But if you were 8 years old and your parents said clean that room in an hour, you had that room cleaned in an hour. So being a parent to yourself and saying rewards and punishments will matter in my life, you become the expectation of your own self, what you want to become. So
awesome.
I have a wonderful journal download that is you can have in the comments. So you guys can
sharing that in the comments for you.
You can go ahead and download that, use it, and then even let me know how it's benefited you as much as it's benefited me. And
tell these people how many books you've written too, because we didn't touch on it. I know we could talk for hours, but we can't do that. So how many books have you written at this time in history?
At this time in history, I've written over 50 romantic suspense novels. And I just like to, even though I do like romance and I like to suspense, I do love to, like you said, infuse real life situations that I've gone through, that other single parents go through. I think a lot of times in these stories that we read, we don't hear about those journeys that we go through, those hardships. And I am blessed to have gone through those storms, and a testament to receive rainbows.
Yeah.
I would not have had it any other way. I would not be the Sylvia that I love, that I am now, if I had not gone through a storm. So I always tell people, if you know you're going through a storm, just keep going, dance in the rain, because rainbows are gonna come.
Right.
And you're going to deserve those rainbows. You're going to deserve every single color of those, and it's going to
Amen.
be just
I
a
like that.
wonderful journey. So yes, keep going. Just keep
That's
going.
awesome. And like your pray, what you say, the three
Plan,
P's.
pray,
Yeah.
parent.
Yeah. Those things, the part of the parent part, I got too many P's.
Right.
It's like part of in my course, you know, in healing, when you have childhood trauma, like you even did at an early age, you started to reparent yourself. And
Right.
that's something that someone who grows up with childhood trauma and they have not grown up correctly in how many thousands of different ways we can be messed up in the head.
Right.
We need to reparent
Right.
ourselves.
Even if you didn't have good parents, you still need to constantly, and even if you did have good parents, you still, once you are away from your parents or in adulthood, you still have to do that
you have to
reparenting
parent yourself.
constantly. It's called adulting.
Yeah, well, people who weren't parented properly as children, they don't know how to do that. So that's
Right.
becomes even
And
more important to learn how to do that. So
yes, and it's a one day at a time effort, because like even if you have good or bad parents, you don't see as you're growing up what parents really have to do in order to be
right.
parents. we
Yeah.
we don't see it. We just think that they're mean and they just want to take away our freedoms and don't want us to be happy. But once
That's
you
one view.
start
And then there are bad parents, and then there are parents that mean well
There-
and still mess up. There's
yes,
lots of different kinds of
there
parents.
are so many, but becoming the parent that you need in your life is just listening to those voices in your head saying, I want this person to be happy. So I need to do the things in my life to make this person happy.
Yeah,
And that's what
ownership of your
parents do.
choices.
Right. And then just, yeah, because like I always said to you, like, you know, own your crap. Like just say, hey, it smells awesome, and just take it in and say, this is me. It's you. You cannot deny what you did. You made a choice. It was not a mistake. It was a choice. It was a bad choice. But it was
I'll
a
call it a
choice.
mistake then, but you can choose to change from that forward. We can't change the past, but we can change going forward. So
And
well,
move
thank
forward
you for being
through
with
that
us today,
storm. Thank you.
Sylvia.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your story, and her thing will be in the comments for you to get your Planned Parent Pray thing, or how I put it backwards or whatever, but you'll see it there in the comments. And thank you for being with me today, Sylvia.
Thank you for having me, Danielle.
Oh.
You stay beautiful.
Thank you too. So thank you everyone for being with me today. Those that you with me live, those who are listening to this later, I want to address you and thank you also for listening to us today. And those of you who have commented, I'll give you one more chance to put in the comments, I want that course. There's grief work in it. There's bonuses in it, and there's also the link, I believe, was shared also of the course if you wanted to go and look at it more and later you want to buy it instead of getting it free. But you know, you can get it free today. I'm giving away 7 of them. I want that course. Put that in the comments, and Mary's taking care of that. Kathy and Mary were manning those for me today. And I want to say thank you, Mary, and thank you, Kathy, and thank you, Michelle and Sylvia, for being with me today. Thank you, Denise, for being such an awesome friend. My life would not be what it was without you. I miss your hugs terribly. I know your family misses you. And I hope that I honored you today in this event with my friends and speaking to you, listening. I encourage you to grab a hold of your pain and turn it into purpose in some way. And until next time, I'm Danielle Burnock from DanielleBurnock.com, and love yourself from Survive to Thrive, that lady on the internet who loves you. Bye-bye.